Wait.
My name's Dehya. I'm the merc you hired. So, what you got for me? A commission, a fight, armed escort? Whatever it is, you know where to find me.
Whoa! I can join the team?
Try not to enjoy. Let me read you a verse. I'm going in!
Hey, out the frying pan, into the fire!
Everybody stand back! Rain cutter! Surrendering Legion.
You're toast! Thoma, get them! Don't be scared. The night is cold. Odds revealed. Punishment. Get up. Pyrotechnics. Call. Line to command.
As you wish, main Fräulein.
Shiver. Yeah. Stars, shine for me. Not now. By royal punishment.
Supporting fire! This moment will be frozen in time. Rally! Charge!
Let's
it up! Advance! Don't mind the practice! Show me courage! Here's Becca! Oh, so sorry. Everyone on me!
Clear the area! Spin to win!
I got you covered! This moment will be frozen.
Sterling, down! Let her rip! Yeah! Teamwork is true! Eat this! Shiver!
One with nature. As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows me.
I'm going in! Lights out.
Let's ride! Carving waves!
Here's Becca!
Hey, no! Stand clear! Go! Let's ride!
What's up? Show me your mind, shall we? Rain of bullets!
Animal Module 75!
Let's get it on!